try and fix the world when you can't. Okay, next.
July, 20th July.
Now he must ask me himself. You can't force this upon him.
14 October.
14 October. So nobody understands you. You're the, I told you that yesterday. 1 and 4 is 5. 5 is the number of grace. So anytime you see the number 5, it refers to grace. So somebody who's living, you know that you're not saved by works, which is number 4. You're saved by grace. And somebody who's number 4 is always trying to impress people with things they do. You're one ahead of that. You know what to do, and you won't tell everybody what you're doing. People will then find out later what you've done, and then it will make sense to them. And in the meantime, people get frustrated because you don't talk to them.
Let's see what you do.
Yes, mate.
31st of Jan.
Oh my. So you could have been an addict in your life, like a serious alcoholic or something. If you just gave yourself.
Probably added to speed and all that type of racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like an extremist in things.
No, that makes sense.
And you can go overboard. You're a very social person. You're a very socialist person, and you can go from being the old granny's friend to be the gangster with the gang, shooting drive-by shootings.
I don't know, Adolf Cyphers, watch out.
So what's your age now?
27.
27. So you're on the borderline of what the Chinese talk about 4 stages of your life that you repeat twice. So the first 9 years of your life, you go through the air stage. You're learning to talk, you're learning to walk, you're learning. Then you get the emotional stage. Teenagers, 9 to 18, the most emotional people are teenagers and midlife crisis people. So 9 to 18 is like you, and they're always shouting and saying things to each other. 18 to 27 is you conquering the world. Nobody can, you know more than both your parents, your grandparents, your auntie, your uncle, your teachers. And then, of course, from 27 to 36 is the earth stage where you actually want to calm down, settle down. And this is the most difficult part of your life because a lot of people go suicidal. I don't know if you heard, what was that? Amy Winehouse. She was 27 when she committed suicide. And she was living this happy life, winning everything, and then going into that feeling, I need to calm down, and then she took her life. So it's a very difficult part of your life because of change now. Then it starts over at 36 to 45. Normally people want to learn new things, start reading again, start educating themselves, going to university, going to college. 45 to 54, you're just like, you're crying, emotional. You're buying off-cup cars, fancy cars to impress everyone because you can see the hairline is receding. You feel like you're 18, but you don't look at it in the mirror anymore, and you want to impress an 18-year-old.
But she's not going to look at you either.
The women are unstable, the men are unstable, and a lot of breakups come in that time. Often guys and girls go gay or lesbian also during that time. So it's a real emotional state.
Yeah.
So then when you're 54 to 63, you're tackling new projects, you're taking on the world again, you're wanting to start new business. Then of course 63 to 70, you want to settle down and chill. And if you manage to get to 70 and afterwards, the thing actually starts all over again.
Unreal, man.
23rd of July.
23rd of July is normally the most difficult men there are.
I
And
see your wife nodding.
if the most difficult men are the 20th to the 30th of July, and the most difficult women are the 20th to the 30th of December. So you've got the two most difficult. But the fact that you guys are one day apart 6 months from each other shows almost like complete compatibility.
Unreal.
Really?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You're like a few hours out of complete 100% compatibility.
Says a lot.
So yeah, so 23rd of July is also kind of you're the lion, but you're the emotional one also, and you're a grumpy person sometimes, and you're the happy person sometimes. So if you have a few dopper in, then you're the happiest person. You're the entertainer. You make jokes, make everyone laugh, and you. But when you're working in the day and you're operating, then you can be like people avoid you.
Good.
Okay. I don't need to carry on.
Yeah. Don't get in my space.
Sorry, Nico, I'm sorry.
Okay, 22nd December.
22nd December. So the 22nd of December is obviously what I said just now, is that you're difficult not to other people, to yourself. And you can also have an addictive personality. Are you a good cook?
No,
Not. So you're not into
don't
it.
like.
But you like family
Yeah,
and children. Have you got children?
I'm not my own. I've got these.
Yes. Okay. So that's everything to you. You're a homely person.
Yeah.
And you worry about everything. You're like top of the professional warriors. Like, worry. No, there's nothing to worry about. Okay, now I'm going to worry because now there's nothing to worry about. So you over-concern yourself about things that will never happen.
Now, if there's 10 coins missing, she doesn't
So
know it.
my
She
advice,
looks for it.
my
all the
advice
time.
to you is drink plenty of water. Because while you're drinking water, you don't worry.
Oh.
Sorry.
The calmness
That's why I
of
drink so
water,
much water.
water is calm effect.
Everybody's got like 70% water in their body. If you don't drink water, you worry. And the lions, I've seen people that are end of December, beginning of January, they look older more than anyone their same age because they don't drink water. Their skin starts dimpling and sagging. And you know you're not drinking enough water if you don't have at least 2 bowel movements a day.
Well, I know this is out of the group. My wife, 9th of September. 9th of September.
My sympathies.
Yeah, I agree.
Like a number 9, any number 9 is a very difficult person. They're difficult on themselves. They just you can't often reason with it. And September is even worse because Virgos are perfectionists. Everything that they'll say, oh, there's something wrong with your eyebrows. Like there's one hair that's out.
My wife, she's her own worst enemy.
So they end up consuming themselves with worries and issues and stuff. So the earthy sign also. If you're a Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus, you're a good person working in the background. You like seeing that everyone around you is happy, and you can put out tables and knives and forks.
Make everything nice for everyone else. Yeah.
But you don't want to be on the foreground. And you don't want to hear somebody skinnering about you.
No.
Then you'll never hear the end of it.
Everyone's scared of me, but it's my wife you've got to be scared of. I'm the calm one.
When was that?
She's a soft girl.
So how different is that from the 8th of September?
For a male.
Yeah.
So look, all your Septembers, never stop thinking about money. So money is like number one thing you wake up and how are you going to see. But whereas, and both like to work with their hands, like to be busy and feel that they've been, but a woman is worse than a man to live with. If you're 8th of September, the number 8 is the number of cutting. It's the 8th day is the day of circumcision, so it's the day of cutting off the flesh. So you will go through relationships in your life without even letting them worry you. So if somebody is bad apple, you just move on. You just move on. So you don't get attached to past friendships and relationships easily. And you're an observer. An observer is always looking at how you can, construction, how you can redesign that building and how you can get involved in seeing that it happens. Perfectionist.
31 July.
31 July.
What's that song?
So fire, does the fire burn many days? The fire of anger. See, if you, let's say you're like, if you're a Cancerian or a Scorpio, your anger comes out in water. It comes out in tears. Whereas if you're a Leo or an Aries or a Sagittarius, your anger comes out red. It comes even on your skin. And you don't really know always how to work with people. Or certain people. And you don't know how to control the situation. You'd rather be given a task to do and work on your own and get that task done than to try and sit and explain things to people, because you're caught off. So when I wrote my book, the book that I'm publishing now, I said 4 personalities: fire, earth, water and air, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, and I explained each one how different they were from each other in the style of writing and what things they mentioned. Then Mark is the shortest gospel. It's to the point, boo, 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 it's a line. You don't like talk around the bush. You want to get to the point. So sometimes you get impatient with people because they like.
You must really love Tony DeGubert's videos.
I've watched 10 episodes.
Yes.
Probably it won't.
And mine? 3 June.
3 June. Okay, so you're Gemini, like me.
Sometimes I'm a real June.
Other times you're just a name.
That's right.
So you're a little bit like Donald Trump. And you're the kind of personality that you say something and later on you flip like, I said this. And it didn't worry you, and tomorrow you'll even change your mind about what you said. But the way you are is the way you are is the way you are. That's why you'll always be 5 minutes late, because that's the way you are.
And we know that. And we're like, should we wait? Okay, thank you.
And like Donald Trump, he likes to also like strut himself a bit, make an entrance.
Stop laughing like that, Vanny. We know it's true.
Yeah. But I mean, in the social world, if you can be the best socialite, you're a person that investigates and reads up everything you can, as much information, and you can talk in almost any conversation and join and actually contribute to the conversation. Right, are you happy?
Thank you.
I think we're going to have to start adding a day.
Yeah, and this
Well,
is
this
important.
starts-
This is important stuff.
No, well, this is why when I sat and thought about my first visits and second visits to Cape Town, I realized that I need to start including some of this in the courses. So level 6 in Zanzibar, we will actually sit and do this a little bit more detail. And if you bring in your spouse with, I can actually explain to you why you and your spouse have got. I'll tell you what issues you've got without you telling me what issues.
Listen, I don't want to go there and come back divorced.
No, the thing with couples is that you can't bring somebody that's a family member or a friend to try and help understand the situation because it's biased.
Agree.
But somebody like me coming and you tell me his and hers birthday. A few years ago, one of the reasons why I was kicked out of the church was because I was on TV. And yeah, that's how conservative it was. But the show that I was on was Street Talk with Nolene. She still had a show that time, and it was about relationships and stuff. And the people would phone in on the show, and myself and there was a psychologist and old Justin Cohen. I don't know if you remember Justin. I think he was also going to be the other weekend. I'm not sure. They were giving their analysis of whatever psychology they understood. So I just said to the caller, I said, give me a his and hers birthday and tell me your ages. And they told me, and I told them exactly what's happening in their relationship. And they were either laughing or crying, and they said, what's the solution? I said, when two people are incompatible, look, there's a degree of compatibility you have with your spouse. And it might start with 25%, up to 95%. Yeah. And if it's under 50%, you're always going to have conflict. As much as, I love this person, I said, no, but love is an emotion, and that can go away. But there's a cake. A cake has got ingredients, and if there's one or two ingredients missing, it flops. And the cake of love is called trust, loyalty, respect. If those three are not in the cake, that cake falls apart. So I say to the person, can you trust this person? No, I can't trust them. So, well, there's already one ingredient gone, the cake is fine. Or are they loyal to me? Am I loyal to them? No. So, what's the good? What's the good of that? You messing around, she's messing around, what's the good of that? So, you're going to either have to face each other and decide, why is this happening? Because I found somebody more compatible. So my whole, when I go from trading to personalities, I have the whole course where people have school children, before they leave school, they must know who they're compatible with. The dating coach of South Africa called me, and that was also, I got into trouble because I was in a TV show about dating sites. So he called me, he says, I believe you've got a very unconventional way of helping guys with girls. I said, yeah, because you guys come with this, oh, this is how you talk to a woman, this is how you chat her up. I said, not every woman's going to respond to the same stimulus. Not everyone likes a banana ice cream. Some like a strawberry ice cream. Some don't like ice cream. So he said, okay, you and I need to go out one night. And we went out to a local pub, and we sat down where the people come into the pub by the beginning, in the start. So he sat next to me, and we were just chatting. And the guy and the girl came in, and when he saw this girl, it was like, he was, this. He says, okay, what do you think this girl's personality is? When you think is her birthday? So I looked at her and I said, she's either May or end of December, beginning January. He said, but tell me. So I said, no, just give me a minute. Because the way you dress, the way you look, the way you walk, the way your facial features are a giveaway, and that saves a guy time, wasting time with the wrong person. Because we're often fascinated with someone. When you're fascinated, the other person doesn't respond the same way. Sometimes they get used to each other and then they get married, because that's the biggest mistake. So, before I've answered or said anything, she and her boyfriend came and stood here between him and I to order drinks. And they said, sorry, can we stand here? Yes, no, you're welcome. And I said, you're a Capricorn. And they said, who the F weet jy dit? So I just said, I saw this, the way you stand. They like to show a little bit of belly and always jeans. They like their jeans and strands, reg pinnetjie reg op. They don't look left and right. They're not like us Geminis, we're like fans. And I told her a few things, and then I just turned around and I said, looked at my friend, and my friend was looking at me, and she says to her boyfriend, she says, Liefie, vat ons drink so lang tafel toe ek moet met hierdie ou praat. And I sat and spoke about 15 minutes to the girl. She says, my boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years, and you don't know me from a bar of soap, and you've told me more than I know about myself, let alone what he knows about me. So you learn by observation. So that guy put me onto TV. I did five TV shows in a year and a half, and 2 radio shows during that period. But the best show I was on was Soweto TV. Because the black people, they are open to advice. They're not. We white people are so biased in our thinking about the way things are. And I say to you know what? Men are educated, but they're educated only in the field of expertise. When they get home, they are like dinosaurs. They don't know anything. They don't know how to handle their wives. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to respond. They just, I'm just going to plop here and read the newspaper, pass me a beer, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's just the way man is. But there's certain things that a man can change, can be different to stimulate the wife. You want the wife to be also full of fire always. The woman must be full of fire, just like you are. I mean, it takes a man 5 minutes to turn him on. A woman takes like the whole day to turn her on. She needs lots of stimulus to get her going. And the biggest lesson that any man can learn is understanding when that time of the month is for his girl. Because that can make or break a relationship. The day when she's not here now, fortunately. But I know, like the day, a few days ago, she had, Matt, you picked up, she had a bad day.
Yeah.
And I know that day is the day of the month that she will pick a fight with me. She will fight about everything. And I say, no, look, today's that. So, today, I don't want no trouble because
I'm not saying no today.
today I'm what can I do for you?
Yeah.
What do you need? Well, I will just try and spoil it.
We all have those days. Like I said, I'm not perfect,
Now,
I'm human.
a woman has anything from 5 to 7 days. Sometimes it can last 2 weeks because it's normally 1 week before the week. But a man has 2 days a month when he's PMS. And you might just deny it, say it doesn't
what
work.
we do. No, we
But
We do.
the woman needs to know also, and that's why when I was working on a mission station, I don't know if I told you, in Zimbabwe I was on a mission station and working with these black people, with some white people, and I had this diary, pocketbook, wrote down every time a woman was down, I would write that day. So the next month comes, then I could figure out when it started and when it finished. So the third month we were sitting there and they were continuously, because now they measure others' hair. Women mustn't be together in each other's space too long because that causes friction. When they came and they said, I pulled out the diary and said, there. You mustn't mess with her from today till the next 4 days. She's in the middle of her.
Very important information.
So we need to be more educated on human relationships. And we're not. We're educated about lots of things. How to make money. How to spend it. Nobody needs education on how to spend money.
Yeah.
Or that's what we think. So what's the price? 702 now.
Yeah, something like it.
So I did discuss a little bit about Bitcoin, born on the 3rd of January, something about its nature. And of course, the source of the article is there, so you can use the QR code. Ethereum, 30th of July, so Vita, you're not far from the birth of Ethereum.
You should buy it here.
And you're having an off day, Ethereum might be also. Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about the Ethereum blockchain. Because we know that KBC and KCB is on the Ethereum blockchain. So I talk about Ethereum as like the post office or Postnet. We're using the same courier, but when it arrives the other side, it gets sorted to where it needs to go. So you can send Ethereum, your same wallet address for your KBC wallet on your phone is the same wallet address as Ethereum and KCB. But when it arrives in the wallet knows onto which coin it should into which coin's wallet it should go. So we have the first coin, which is one of the most successful coins as an ICO, is the Binance coin, which is running off Ethereum blockchain. So it is definitely the one that grew the most. So I can't understand why these people that have such successful blockchains would go and get hacked or hack themselves or lose money. There must be troubles. It's just the symptoms of some bigger trouble. So you'll also see MakerCoin. MakerCoin has also done pretty well since it's been released. And it's pretty new. Amisco, OMG. Amisco is actually very, very good blockchain. It's about getting the unbanked people banked. In other words, they're looking at finding a way that more and more people can use their cell phones to do transactions without having to have a monetary system. So each one has got its own website, of course. Ox or ZRX. They came out last year. Ox protocol. OX protocol. So you will see that all Ethereum addresses start with OX. What happened there? That token, basic attention token, is a very nice token to actually discuss. The fact that you've all seen the Brave browser. Now, Brave browser uses a BAT token. So you now, if you choose, I want to be part of the community on the Brave browser, that means they pay you for every video you watch.
Except if you live in South Africa.
Really? Okay, well that is like the white paper to get the reverse of what Google is doing. And Brave browser actually blocks any adverts from popping up on your screen. It blocks companies from tracking you. If you've got a brand new computer and you've got no internet, you've not used the internet and you've got no antivirus on it, then you download the Brave browser, and whatever you do on the Brave browser, you secure from viruses, spyware, malicious attacks, and all sorts of spyware. So Brave browser is actually designed by the crypto world to give us a more safe environment to operate in.
So you can use it more.
Yes. There's still some issues with Carrot Exchange. Sometimes it works well and sometimes it's got issues. So we hopefully that there will be some changes in the future that everything goes smoothly, because they don't monitor anything, any website or anything that you're on. And generally speaking, you can actually wipe all your history the moment you finish browsing.
I don't think CMT works either.
Is it? Well, we need to talk.
I've tried CMT a few times on Brave and
Yes.
it doesn't.
Only in Chrome.
Yeah, it only works in Chrome.
Mm.
So which is the browser for CarrotBit? Chrome or Brave?
I like Brave.
I work in Brave as well.
I like Brave a lot because I feel safer and everything works smoothly. I mean, think of the amount of times I've got to refresh my browser when I'm in CarrotBit. Because either the graph doesn't load or the coins don't load, it's just tether all.